I stopped caring about the number on the scale, and that's when losing weight started to get easier. I think naturally, when you're on a weight loss journey, you obsess about the number on the scale so much so that you let it determine your mood. But I would encourage you to stop doing that. Because if you are on a weight loss journey and you intend to be on one for an extended period of time, you will go crazy obsessing about every pound that you lose, gain, whatever. It's not a linear process. It's not something that is a constant decline. When I think of losing weight, it's about averages. Over the course of a couple of weeks or a month, how much weight do you lose? Because your weight can fluctuate anywhere from 2 to 7 pounds on any given day, depending on your sleep, how much you ate, whether you drank, if you ate a lot of sodium, if you're stressed. There's so many things that determine your weight. And I think for us to only focus on the scale is a major hindrance. So, quick backstory as to how I got to this point. So, at the beginning of the year, I was about 275 pounds. That's arguably the heaviest I've ever been. And I was miserable. I hated how I looked. I would feel so insecure around guys that looked better than me physically. They had flat stomachs and stuff like that. Even girls, like a girl that I dated in the past, she had a flat stomach, and I didn't even realize that, there were parts of me that felt insecure because she had a flat stomach and I didn't. And I'm sure she didn't care, but I did. Because who wants to have a gut? Nobody wants to have a gut. Like, people have guts, but if they had to choose, any person on the face of this earth, man or woman, but especially a man, there's no guy that has a stomach that's saying, I definitely prefer to have a stomach over abs. If we could snap our fingers and decide, you know what, I have abs, we'd all do it. But, that's the reality. And it was my number one priority to get this weight up off me. I had no choice. I gave myself no choice but to lose this shit because, quite frankly, I got tired. I got tired of being fat. I got tired of having a gut. I got tired of waking up with aches and pains. And mind you, I guess technically I was anywhere from 50 to 70 pounds overweight, which is a lot. It's a lot. And I wasn't going to let myself get to 300 pounds. That's dead. That's so dead. That was not about to happen. And so it was my number one goal, at least for this year, to lose as much weight as possible. And quite frankly, I'm still losing weight because my goal is to get to 10% body fat. I'm probably at in the high teens right now, but that's besides the point. The reason I'm making this video is because I'm in a new phase of my weight loss journey. So I am now about anywhere from 50 to 55 pounds down from the beginning of the year to now. And I have developed a system so good that I do not even care to hop on the scale because I am so much more in tune with my body. I'm so much more in tune with the things that I put in my body that naturally, if I'm doing these things, the scale, my body is going to reflect that. And I want to make this video as a reminder to anyone that's on a weight loss journey to understand that the number on the scale does not determine your worth, and it is only one of many ways to track progress. I encourage anyone who's on a weight loss journey to take pictures. That's one of the things that I am so grateful for that I did, because had I not, I would have never really trusted that I was losing weight. I would have never trusted it because there's times where I looked noticeably slimmer, but my weight stayed the same, or I went up a couple pounds, And by you only placing your focus on the number on the scale, it just makes losing weight a very daunting task, because a lot of people believe that losing weight you could lose, I don't even know. I mean, the healthiest number, I would say, the most that you should be losing to guarantee that you're not losing that much muscle is about 2 pounds. I would say that's the minimum, that's the max. If you're losing anywhere from if you're losing 2 or more pounds, like, now, I will say, if you are heavier, you will lose weight faster. Like, if you're 100 pounds overweight, those first couple of weeks, you might, be losing anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds a week. That's the reality, because that did happen for me when I first started, and I was only 50 pounds overweight. But when you start to taper off and get to the tail end of your weight loss journey, understand that, yeah, you're losing about 1 to 2 pounds a week, and that's great. That's not even bad. That's really good. And where was I going with that? Yeah, it's not something that you should want to happen fast. You should just make sure that you're on a steady decline as it pertains to the number on the scale. And I think that the way that you get to this point where you just stop caring is, one, you have to have proof that what you're doing is working, because right now you don't. So naturally, the only measurement that you have is a number on the scale. But once you get to a point where your systems are so clean, they're so good that, you know what, maybe I don't feel like hopping on the scale today. Maybe I'll do it next week. Because you've built that inner trust that I'm doing exactly what I should be doing to get to the goal. So what does that look like? For me, I know that I have to be in a calorie deficit, and I know that I have to eat all my meals at home. Naturally, I'm eating anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200 calories a day, 200 grams of protein. I eat the same shit every single day, at least in this period of my life, because when you're on a weight loss journey, the best thing that you can do is eat the same shit every day. And a lot of people talk about how they'll get tired, they'll do this, they'll do that. I don't get tired of it because I know the shit that I'm eating gets me lean. So why would I not? Why would I get tired of something that I know is working? So, and I'm going to get into detail because I feel as though that a lot of people don't know this stuff. So I want to just talk about my experience with losing weight, because I feel as though that, yeah, it's extremely possible for anyone to lose weight. You just don't have the best system. So first thing I did was I tracked everything. Every single thing. It didn't matter if it was an egg. It didn't matter if it was a drop of sauce, a bit of peanut butter. It didn't matter what the fuck it was. Anything that was going in my mouth was getting tracked. And the way that I would do that, I would put the food on the scale and drop it in a bowl, drop it on a plate. So that way I know, hey, this is exactly how much I'm eating. And I would log everything in my notes app, take a screenshot, and literally ship it off. I would plug it into ChatGPT, because I don't think that you should have to pay for, I don't think you should pay for MyFitnessPal, because I think they're charging like $20 a month or some bullshit like that. Insane. I remember when it used to be free. And put it in ChatGPT, and I say, hey, can you log my calories and protein intake? And it'll tell you. At the end of every day, that's literally how I was logging everything. I'm going to get back to that, but that's essentially what I was doing. And now the first, I would say, month or so, I wasn't really losing anything. And I was confused. I'm like, man, why the fuck am I not losing weight? Come to find out, I was cooking everything in vegetable oil. That is the second thing that I think that oils and butters, those should be the two things that you should just cut out your diet completely. And when I say cut it out, I genuinely mean, at least if you're trying to lose weight, you should not be dousing anything, like a pan, food, none of that. You shouldn't be dousing it in any sort of oil or butter, because, for instance, I know a lot of us cook in oil or cook with oil. We do not use the serving size. We just don't. It's hard to track. How would you fucking know? You literally wouldn't know. So what a lot of people, including myself, would do, I would take the vegetable oil and cover the entire pan. That's anywhere from 200 to 400 calories in just oil. Just oil that's going untracked. Now, if I'm doing that 2 or 3 times out the day, on the low end, 600 calories. On the high end, 1,200 calories. Or, I'm sorry, 1,200 to 1,800 calories in just oil that's going unaccounted for. If I'm supposed to be in a calorie deficit that's 2,500 calories or 2,700, and I'm tracking my food that is quote unquote 2,500 calories, but I have 1,800 calories worth of oil that's going untracked, yeah, I'm not going to lose weight because it quite literally is calories in, calories out. So what I did, cut out oils and butters, and I got a Pam olive oil spray, and literally 3 seconds on the pan, 3 seconds on my food. That's literally all you need. It's like 10 calories. Could honestly be negligible because on the can it says 0 calories, but if you're spraying for a good amount of time, it's going to be like 10 to 20, which is insignificant in the grand scheme of things. You burn that just by walking. And yeah, once I started to do that, the weight just started to drop. I would get 5 pounds 1 week, 2 pounds 1 week, 3 pounds 1 week, 4 pounds, and it was just, oh my God, I was just like, yes, I have a system that's working. And then third thing, you got to do cardio or some form of strength training. Those 2 things, you do that at least 3 to 5 times out the week. Pair that with being in a calorie deficit and tracking everything that you eat. Quite literally, you do not have to look at the scale. Sure, check it from time to time. But I would, like, if you know your number, okay, for the average person, I say the average person should be eating 2,000 calories, but a lot of people, so I'm 6'5", 220-ish. So 2,000, and I'm active. 2,000 calories is a pretty low number for someone like me. But for someone who is sedentary or doesn't eat, doesn't work out that frequently, you could range anywhere from 1,600 to 1,800, and that's a real calorie deficit for you. Not easy, but that is a number. If you're eating that on a consistent basis and you're 50 to 100 pounds overweight, the weight is just going to fall off. It has no choice but to. A lot of people like to overcomplicate the weight loss journey because they believe that they think that they are, I don't fucking know. They're incapable. Their body can't lose. Nobody is above the system. Nobody is above a calorie deficit. You quite literally, your body has no choice but to get smaller if it's receiving less food. That's just a fact. So if you aren't losing weight, then you are not in a calorie deficit. And I know I'm veering off, but it all is a part of the same umbrella where I just want you to focus on what really matters. If any scale on the number matters, it should be the food scale. Because if you are tracking your foods correctly and you're eating the same foods every single day, and you know this is how much I ate 1,800 calories 6 days out the week, the number on the scale is going to reflect that. There's no, and now I'm at the point where I'm combining 2 things that I did at different stages in my life. So going to the gym 6 days out the week and going on the Stairmaster for 20 minutes after every workout. I was doing that in the beginning, but I was not tracking how I track now. Now I'm going to combine both of those 2 because, like I said, I'm trying to get to 10% body fat, and that's what it's going to require for me to get to that point. We're going to see what that does. I'm more than likely, and it's going to take some time, I'm more than likely going to get to 10% by maybe the end of the year. Hopefully my birthday, because I'm going to Cabo. Hopefully I got abs by Cabo. But if I don't, it's fine. Because quite literally, it doesn't matter. I have my entire life to get abs. I trust that, yes, I will get abs before. I'll get abs eventually. And I say eventually because I just want to relax about when I get it, because you don't want to speed this process up. For many of us, it's taken us about years. It's taken us years to put on 50 to 100 pounds. Imagine If you lock in for 6 months to a year, you can lose all of that weight and be in your dream physique. And people do not understand that because it sounds long in the grand scheme of things, but think about where we're at right now. We're in August. Think about what you were doing in January. That seems like not that long ago, because it quite literally isn't. So if you actually committed to a process and you understood, hey, calories in, calories out, I want to be in a calorie deficit, and you keep your proteins high, by all means. You do those things, the number on the scale just has to reflect that. And if it doesn't, then there's a hole in your system that you're not aware of. And yeah, I'm extremely knowledgeable about this stuff, and I would love to help more people. If you guys find videos like this useful or insightful or whatever the words you want to use, let me know, because I would love to make more videos about this, because I think that health is such an important pillar in my life, and it should be in everyone's life. And I think the things that most people struggle with is what they eat on a day-to-day basis. And if you're not aware of it, if you're not in a calorie deficit, I know a lot of people hate that phrase, but that's just what it is. If you're not there, then you're just not going to lose weight. And there's not really much that I can do or say to kind of get you there. You have to want that for yourself. So yeah, I think that's a good stopping point. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. My name is Trent Bishop. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.